control the vertical.
Welcome to Anthologic, the TV anthology podcast. I am your host, Mark. Anthologic is a podcast dedicated to exploring the good, the bad, and the odd of horror, science fiction, and the best of mystery suspense anthology shows and series on TV. Join me as we slip through the cracks of reality to approach the extremes of experience, where we can peruse the stories and art of a sinister fairground of strange and wonderful rides. And now we go on to the show that is the focus of this particular episode. Welcome to this episode of Anthologic with your host Mark. Today we are covering a British anthology TV series called Thriller. No, it's not the Boris Karloff Thriller. This was a British series made in 1973, and it ran from 1973 to 1976. It was actually the creative force behind it was Brian Clemens, most famous for The Avengers, Steed and Emma Peel, that kind of thing. But he did dip his fingers in all sorts of other things. For example, he did write for Hammer on some films and other sort of TV series, including other anthology series. And also some quite good thriller movies he was behind. There's an excellent one called And Soon the Darkness that I really like. But yeah, this is his baby. As I say, it ran from 1973, 14th of April 1973 to the 22nd of May 1976, over 6 series, 43 episodes in all. The first season had 10 episodes, and the remaining seasons, I've had 6 or 7. It varied. And basically, they managed to cream the crop of a lot of British talent and indeed American talent. There was Americans in a lot of their episodes to give it resale value, and it's kind of interesting looking at some of the titles. They actually changed some of the titles for some of the episodes to suit the American market. They were either the British titles looked a little ambiguous, perhaps, or for whatever reason. Most of them are the same, having said that, but there are a few where they just changed it, and it's not like they're soft in particular. I'll give you an example. As an episode from season 3, episode 1, British title is A Coffin for the Bride, which I think is a great title, whereas the American version is Kiss Kiss Kill Kill, which I think is both pretty good. To give you an idea of the sort of people that were in these, that were around in the early 70s, we are talking about Helen Mirren. I'm trying to find some of us that might actually ring anyone's bell. I thought there was lots, but there's quite a long list to go through. There's Hayley Mills. I think David Warner was probably one of these. Patrick O'Neill, the American character, is quite a striking man. Patrick O'Neill, Jenny Agutter, and so on. In this particular episode we're talking about tonight, it's season 1, episode 1, aired on the 14th of April 1973. Barbara Feldon's in it. She's probably most famous from Get Smart, I think it is. I don't know her work. I have to say, I don't really know Get Smart, but I have to say she was excellent in this. And Robert Powell and Linda Thorson were the other 2 leads. They were all really good. This is Robert Powell before he played Jesus, of course. He's a very striking and quite a pretty solid character actor with a lot of charisma. And in this, he plays a kind of guy that's very smooth around the ladies. And the title is Lady Killer, in fact. In the UK, at least. In the American version, it's called Death Policy. And there's some interesting stuff going on. Just to give you a bit more background, this did air on the UK sort of network around the time it was made. And in America, it was aired on ABC. And then it was rebroadcast as the CBS late movie. So how about that? It was often set around London and that sort of area, and often riffing on, basically giving a similar style to other existing movies. So it felt like this movie or that movie. So it was, the stories were often familiar. In many respects, it kind of feels more like a long form version of Tales of the Unexpected in some ways. There's not necessarily a twist at the end of each one, but it had that kind of feel. I do own the box set. I bought it quite a while ago, and it's got all the episodes on. And I have to say, I kind of remember watching this as a child, some episodes of it, and remember it being quite striking. And what always struck me on watching it as a child was the music. The music is slightly discordant and very eerie, as is the weird opening credits, which use strong use of a fisheye lens in an empty environment, an empty house, grounds of a house, and just give it an eerie feel. This was written by Laurie Johnson. Laurie Johnson did a lot of the music for the Avengers, so Brian Clemens was often a collaborator with Laurie Johnson, so that there was that kind of link. This first episode, I really don't want to spoil it because it's really excellent. I cannot stress how good this particular episode is. It just totally works. And there's quite a few twists in it, and I don't really want to reveal them in case anyone listening decides they want to watch it. It is worth a look. And from the look of it, I believe they're all on YouTube. I'm looking right now. Lady Killer has got a presentation on YouTube, so it is possible to go watch this. In many respects, this first episode is kind of Hitchcockian. It's got that level of thrill about it. It's really solid. It's well written. It's well acted. The twists, not necessarily what you try to figure out what's happening, and you realise what's happening, and you realise, oh, that's quite dark. And how's this going to work out? And possibly allegiances change, though that's denied, but you're never quite sure. So it's kind of interesting. The three leads, Barbara Feldon, doing an excellent job here as a kind of mousy wife who's a bit put upon, but kind of can hold her own a little. And she's really good in her role, really good. I cannot emphasise how good she is. We have Robert Powell, and we also have Linda Thorson. Linda Thorson, interesting. She was in the Avengers. She took over from Emma Peel as Tara King, I think her character was. Here she's doing an American accent, and she's doing very well acted. And apparently her and Brian Clemens didn't get on, so it's kind of interesting to see her in this first episode. Another notable actor in this is a very good sort of jobbing character actor for TV that appears in lots of things. His name is T.P. McKenna. He does turn up at one point, and he's solid too. I like this. It kept twisting and turning right till the very end, and it was very solid. It's about an hour in all, just over an hour. And I think most episodes are just over an hour, between 63 and 69 minutes. So I imagine that translates to TV with advertisements, so about an hour and a quarter. So, could be considered a movie. And I do remember, as I say, watching this in the past and being quite struck by it. And now there's one particular episode I was particularly frightened by, where it appeared to be a woman was kept in a room and being starved to death. And that was very impactful when you're a child, I have to say. But I haven't been able to locate which episode it is. I've tried to look at all the titles that sound like that, and I haven't managed to locate it. But I do think I will be going through this show in much greater detail in the future after season 1 of this podcast, when I'll be doing much longer dives into various shows. The thriller will be up there on that list. Really enjoyed it. It was very solid. Right, I think we'll stop there, as I do not want to reveal any of the plot, so I'm not going to be talking about that. And I will say, before I go, one question. Is anybody out there?
I'm not. We now return control of your television set to you. Until next week at this same time, when the control voice will take you to